So finally, with Summer Girl Part 6 of Stargirl, we have the big battle, and the real villain is revealed. So it comes together all right. The creepy parts of it that they utilize in the show works out okay. And then, of course, well, it's not much of a revelation. The obvious deal with Shade, and that he's not really there to commit any wrongs per se. He's there to try to destroy the Eclipso crystal, and hopefully with that the entity trapped within, and all that sort of stuff. And so there's a moment where Courtney's mom has to decide that Courtney's best chance is for Shade to help, so she tells him what she knows, that Cindy has the crystal. They learn that Cindy has the crystal in the paintings left behind from last week's episode's battle with the art teacher having been possessed by Eclipso. And there it is, a painting that he left behind that clearly shows Cindy has the crystal. So she's failed to get all the recruits she wants. She got I don't know, Sporty Girl, whatever. She's the daughter of the sportsman and Tigress. Which, now that I think about it, I can't remember if it was established that Tigress has some sort of superpowers, because that's the only explanation for her, especially in this episode. And well, it was certainly true of the fight that she ends up having. They take out Dugan first. He's headed for his robot, and Sporty Girl and Fiddler Jr. shows up, and he's in full command of his fiddle or violin, what have you, and is able to attack with these weird sonic jolts coming from it, and knocks Dugan for a loop. And then Sporty Girl beats the crap out of him because he says, "I won't beat a child," and so they beat the crap out of him instead. And then apparently, I guess they destroyed the robot. They don't really show that happening. At first I thought maybe they would just steal it, since because Cindy was unable to recruit Cameron, or is that his name? I can't see. I'm dropping the names. Well, the guy that Courtney likes. So there you go. That didn't happen, and so I thought, oh, they'll steal the robot and use that against them, but no, they didn't. Then there's Courtney's brother. Well, turns out they just wanted to use him as a hostage. Had no intention of him becoming anything. So that's the deal. They lure the Justice Society to the high school where they had their big battle. And the Justice Society pretty much beats them. It takes a while. You have the fight between Our Man and Sporty Girl. Now, she's completely outmatched by him. He's super strong for an hour when he activates his little device there. But she's knocking him down and all this stuff, and it's just not believable. It's really bad. And some of the choreography of the fight is terrible, because it's obvious they're on wires. I mean, they're literally flying at some point. No, that's not how that works. And some of it's not too bad. I mean, and they destroy the school. I mean, they're just smashing this and that and knocking walls down and all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, Cindy and Stargirl are the ones fighting each other, which Stargirl ultimately beats her, and then pretty much has to save everybody else because they're just not that great. I mean, basically, it's just Stargirl and Our Man, and that's about it. I mean, Wildcat, she can do a few things here, and I'm forgetting. I guess it's the costume that gives her cat powers. But. And then Beth Midnight just is pretty useless. I mean, other than her goggles, which reveals where Courtney's brother is being held, and she goes and gets him. So there's that. She's able to project images of Sporty Girl's parents to distract her for a minute, but that's about it. So ultimately, after Shade finds out what's going on, Cindy has it, he shows up and is about to stop everything when Eclipso takes over Cindy, there's a fight, and Stargirl, there's a fight between Shade and Cindy possessed by Eclipso, and then Stargirl leaps in with the staff and hits the crystal, and thinking now that'll solve the problem. Instead, what it does is release Eclipso into the real world. So there he is in full form, and Cindy's tossed aside and all that. And then he just kills Fiddler Jr. Sporty Girl hauls ass out of there, and that leaves Cindy. Shade attacks, but he loses. He gets his ass handed to him, and all the reason why he was hoping this wouldn't happen. That the crystal, he wouldn't get free of it, but well. And he's badly beaten, and he escapes. Cindy, which of course always the Faustian bargain. So what happens? He makes this little puddle out of one of the pieces of the crystal, and she falls into it, and Stargirl actually tries to save her. Will Cindy appreciate that later? I doubt it. And she disappears, and it's thinking, well, he killed her too. Well, I don't think so. She's trapped in whatever dimension he was in, or it could be the dark dimension. Well, I'm pretty sure she'll wake up in this weird netherworld, and then there will be the original Dr. Midnight standing there. They'll carry on with that. So now Eclipso's free. He takes the form of a little child, and no one sees this, so they're not going to recognize who he is, who this kid is, and all that. And off he goes. Pat Dugan and his son. The son says, "I want to build a robot for myself." He's tired of being exposed and vulnerable to these creeps, and it's not going to go away. So he's like, "Yeah, all right." And that sort of thing. But my guess is with the potential boyfriend for Stargirl is I thought he would turn because he thought she was kind of teasing him and pushing him off, and he gets irritated by that, and that turns him dark. But it won't be through Cindy. It'll be through the actual Eclipso entity, perhaps. And that's, something that could happen. And so, there's still some good elements here. There's some big flaws here and there. It hasn't gone woke. It hasn't done any of that stuff. It's not as good as Superman and Lois, but it's got some pretty good moments. And they're keeping with the horror element of it, which is fitting because this is basically this demon that's possessing people and whatnot. And so there you go. He shows up, and they get their asses handed to him because he's a much more ferocious villain than anything they've taken on before. And really, all they've got is Stargirl and Hourman. There's really no one else. And the staff has pretty much went dead. It doesn't have any spark in it anymore after its battle with Eclipso. So I guess it'll recharge at some point. And perhaps the original Starman, well, we know he's alive. We've seen him walking around. That he'll show up and teach Courtney what to do or some crap like that. But, it's all right. But, I guess it's kind of worn off. I mean, initially, the first season, I was impressed that it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be and that kind of thing. And that's still the case. But, unless, you're darn rootin' tootin' for superhero shows, yeah, you should probably check it out. But other than that, never mind and just wait for Superman to come back. But that's about it. So we'll see how it turns out. It could resolve very well. There's elements there that I think they could pursue that could be pretty cool. But that's about it. The cheese factor gets in the way enough to the point that it does kind of push you out. And that's a matter of circumstance. It would be too expensive to do it right. And that's why a lot of these shows, I thought they should just dwell on more of the street level superheroes than the more spectacular ones. Batman, of course. I would think like they would knock that out of the park with that, but for whatever reason, they just won't do it. But anyway, there we go with Summer School Part 6 for Stargirl. And next week, I guess, we'll see. Is it on break again? I can't remember. Well, whatever. The next one will be, I guess, Summer School Part 7. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's a good guess. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.